You are listening to The Growth Signal. My name is Alyssa Nolte,
And I'm Billy Sammons.
and we're going to get right into it. Billy,
Yeah.
what is your hot take?
My hot take is that as entrepreneurs, we're always sold the lie that we have to start our business through buying leads, through do cold marketing and doing all these things because we don't know enough people. And that's the way to get your business started. And then after you become quote unquote successful, then you can start following up your warm leads and start having referral base. And it's a lie. You can start off with a warm market from day one. It's not as hard as it sounds.
As someone who physically gets hives thinking about having to pick up a phone and make a cold call, I cannot wait for you to unleash the
Yeah.
secret for us. How do we get warm leads, whether you're starting for the first time or you know what, you're restarting, you're revamping, you're pivoting, whatever that word you want to use? How the heck do we do this thing?
Yeah. So we have all been in meetings. All the people will say, "Oh, you need to give and you need to do things for the community." And you have all these wonderful people saying these things that do make sense. And these guys and girls have been doing it for 30 years and they have the Rolodex with all the names and numbers in it. And I've always been the person to be like, well, that's great, but what do I give? Like, you can't just give. That doesn't make any sense. Like, what do I do? So what I've taught people, and this is the way I've done my business, is I have something to give them. I make video commercials for local business owners. I just go in there and I do it for free because that's my way in to give them
Yeah.
something of value that I can turn around and give to my audience. And by doing this with very simple and very inexpensive ways, I now know all the local businesses in my community. I know all the people and I know all of their audiences. And so it was a way to just have a reason to get my foot in the door and talk to them and give them something of value, but keep it simple enough that it's marketing and doesn't replace my actual business.
And two, I think you have to go into that with a true, authentic desire to
Yes.
give something
Yes.
of value.
Yep.
Because I was at Sam's Club last night and I was
Yeah.
walking up and there was a guy who walked up to me and he's like, "Hey, we're doing this like scratch off thing. You get a prize." I'm like, "Okay, cool, whatever." I was thinking it was like an official Sam's Club thing. I'm there
Yeah.
to buy, groceries or
Which is a
whatever.
guy.
And it was like a window bath
Nice.
replacement kind of guy. And I scratched it off and it was like, "Oh, you get
Yeah.
$500 off our grand prize." And I'm like, everybody gets $500 off. And then it
Doesn't do
proceeded
anything.
to be like, "Here's a piece of candy." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, well, clearly you were trying to give me something, right?
Sort of.
$500 off my thing and a piece of candy." But it wasn't
No.
genuine because I knew immediately that everybody got $500 off.
Nope.
That was the whole thing. So how do you make sure it's genuine and not just very clearly self-serving?
Well, first of all, it didn't hit any of your pain points, did it? Like,
No, I mean, like,
didn't
well, it
serve
was
you,
more of a pain point than serving my pain point. It was
didn't
an
serve
annoying
anything.
thing while I'm trying to get groceries.
Yeah, so the way we do it, as I teach people first, entrepreneurs, you need to decide your business values. What things are important to you? What things how do you want people to describe you when you're not around? Like, what is important? And then you make a list of other businesses in your area that share those same values. So that way you're on par and you're on the same brand together. Like, we share the same value of giving. We share the same values of charity. We say the same values of making money first. Like, all those values got to be lined up. And then once you have those values lined up, you start reaching out and start hitting their pain points, right? What do you need? Most local businesses, 98% of them need more attention. They need more clients. They need more audience.
Right.
And that's what I give them. I give them more attention, give them more audience. I make the commercial. I keep it really simple. I give it to my people. That way I get more butts through the seats, feet through the door, butts in the seats. I always say butts in the seats. So that way their business is thriving and doing better. And I'm giving. And here's the key too. You don't ask for something in return right away. Like your guy with the windows, he's like, here it is. Now
Right.
buy my windows. That doesn't work. You were turned off right away. I make the commercial
Right.
like, here it is. Here's my audience. Thank you. I'll follow up in a few weeks, a few months. Like, hey, what else can I do? How are things going for you? At no point am I doing a sales pitch. At no point I'm like, all right, I did something for you. Now it's your turn to do something for me. This isn't the mafia. It's not how that works. You do and you
Right.
give, and in the end, you'll get yours. You'll get what's coming to you. Like, you'll get the reciprocation. It just takes a little bit of time.
I'm a big believer in give more than you get.
Yes.
So one of my I always tell people who come on the show and who listen to the show, they'll have heard this about 1,000 times now. I have 3 core values, right? And when it comes to my business, one is be all in or be all out, right? Either you're gonna do it or you're not. And if you're
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah.
do it, then go find something you can do, right? And that's for my team members, for my employees, for everything. My second core value is give more than you get. And my belief that if I put good out into the world and
Exactly.
I help people, then eventually it'll come back to me. It might not come back to me in the form of a direct relationship, but eventually it'll come back somehow, right? And then my third one is always like the thrill of the solve. How do we solve real problems? How do we
Yes.
dig into the
Love
thing?
that.
And so for me, it's like, how do we combine all of those things? And it sounds to me exactly what you're
It is.
doing. You are
Yep.
all in on building a relationship. You're giving more than you get, and you're solving a real problem, not just like
That's
doing a
it.
transaction.
Yep. And it's super simple. Like I said, what I have a course and we teach people how to do it through the course. And the it has to be so simple. I make it like 3 or 4 steps because if it's any more than that, it's interfering with your business. Most of the folks that I work with have full-time businesses, and they use this as their marketing to grow their business and make more contacts and make more leads and make a big positive impact on the community. So if I make it super complicated or have all these crazy special effects or all that, they're not gonna do it. So you just gotta keep it really, really simple, keep it under 3 or 4 steps, and I keep it under $50, the whole thing. So anybody can step into this program and be successful and put people in their CRM and make the relationships they need. It's not that hard. It's just consistency.
How do you decide what is the thing that you give away for free? And I'm going to ask a follow up question
Yeah,
before you give your answer. Because I've seen a lot of businesses who will give away something for free, and it's something that is like their main business. And in their mind, they're thinking, oh, I'll give it for free. And then they'll be excited about it. And then they'll come back and buy it from me again. But
that's
it's
right.
not clicking because it's too much or
Yeah.
it's too much work or usually it requires the customer to do something. It's like getting a free puppy. It's like, "Wait a minute, I don't want a free puppy. I don't want"
Yeah. Yep.
like and so how do we balance, like, not giving people free puppies, which is a bunch of work, and something that's valuable and something that doesn't kill us in trying to get it done or make us lose a ton of money?
So the first is their pain point, right? We go back to your window example. What's the thing they need? What's the thing that most businesses need? And that's attention. And then you go to things that you enjoy doing or you have fun. Like you and I mean, we're doing a podcast. You could do this in your backyard with podcasting. Obviously, you enjoy doing it. You're doing it all the
Yeah.
time. You found something you enjoy and you found a pain point of that business because they need more people, right? So you hit both of those right away. So make it something you enjoy. I always do videos because at the time I was just my wife bought a camera to take pictures of our son, and this was 16 years ago. That's how long I've been doing this. And we took a couple of pictures of him and like, all right, cool. Now we have this expensive camera. We need to do something else with it. And so I'm like, let me figure out some other cool stuff. Can I do videos with this thing? And I started playing around with it. I'm like, oh man, I can do videos. I can do this and this. And I'm like, let's go start meeting some business owners. I'm going to start making little snippet commercials for them and do some stuff with it. Like this will be really fun. And I know they need a little bit of help and they need a bit of love, especially right now in our economy. Like all the local businesses need as much help as they can get. So I rarely will get a no, don't come in and help promote me. So it started with me doing something fun. It started with their pain points and the two of them together. I just have fun doing it. So they get something, I enjoy it, and it meets both of your criteria.
When you're thinking about, like, brainstorming through that, right? Like, do
Yeah.
you have a process that you take people through to figure out what is the thing that they enjoy? Because I didn't know I enjoyed podcasting.
Until you did
I
it.
just kinda started
Yeah.
doing it because I was like, "Well, everybody's doing it, so I guess I should
Yep.
too." And then I discovered, like, "Oh my god, I actually really do enjoy this," which is how I've recorded, like I think you're my, like, 186th interview in, like,
Yes.
6 months, like, an insane number of interviews. But how do you even figure out what is that thing that you enjoy that you can use to thereby bring value to your prospective customers?
Yeah, so that's one of the steps actually in the process too. Like there's 2 different courses. I have a podcast one and a video one. Video one does better because you get your face out there and you get more business. But
Mhm,
in there, one of the chapters is going through like some of your things you enjoy, some of the themes, like some self-reflection. Like, hey, I really like
mhm.
doing Pokemon cards, or I really like doing football, or I like doing this. And you can start combining those things because your values as a business owner are gonna bleed through some of the things you enjoy. There's gonna be a little bit of combination to that. So this is one of the chapters. We sit down, do some self-reflection and get into something you really enjoy and kind of incorporate that in your marketing. Cause it's gotta be fun. Like you said, if you're not having fun doing it, it's gonna be broccoli. Like you're just not
Yeah.
gonna want to do it. So if you're like, hey, I love coffee, cool. You sit down local business owners and grab a cup of coffee. Done. You're enjoying something, you're adding value, you're building your business and your marketing. So it's part of the process. What do you like to do and how can you incorporate that?
And I think too, it has to be something that you can really sustain,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Like, you have to look at it and say like, I love coffee, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but if I only could ever drink coffee as my only meal,
Yeah.
I don't know that I would be as pleased with that, right? And I'll eat broccoli, but if it was the only food I was allowed
Yeah.
to
Not
have,
doing it.
then I don't know that I would do it. So how do you figure out, like, not not turning something that you love into work, so thereby you resent it, how do you figure out what's the balance between something I can sustain and something that I can just love doing at the same time?
Yeah, because it's bonus, it's extra, it's not your business, it's just, like, your
Right.
marketing stuff, you're just having a little fun on the side, so, like, Jerry Seinfeld did the comedians in cars driving drinking coffee, that one for a little while, so he took
Mhm.
the things he loves, "I enjoy old cars, and I enjoy, drinking a cup of coffee and so forth," and I have a bunch of comedians that interview style is super boring, and so they all hop in a car, they film it, and then they sit down at a coffee shop, if that's combining stuff you enjoy, and you're
Yeah.
making that the secondary, like marketing and meeting business owners and meeting people that your audience will enjoy hearing from is the primary, right? So that's the focus. And then the extra is just going to be, I'm going to grab a cup of coffee once a week, which most of us are probably doing anyway. Or we're going to go check out some cool cars, or we're going to talk about the football team. Like we're going to do some stuff as the secondary effect of it because I enjoy it and it'll motivate me to keep doing it. And then the primary is meeting the people, making the connections.
I'm gonna ask a semi-leading question
Do
because
it.
I have an opinion,
Yes.
on the answer,
Do
but
it.
how prepared and perfect and locked in do I have to be in order to get this going? Like,
No,
how much prep work?
not none. So I just did a course to or a workshop on people in my blog this week has been talking about people that are scared to be on camera. If you're
Yep.
scared to be on camera, you don't want to do it. Keep it super simple. Like the who, what, where, when, how. Who are we? What do we sell? What are we doing here? How can people get a hold of you? And just do those 5 questions until you start getting more and more and more comfortable. Because if you do the who, what, where, when, how, it's easy. But I'd say almost all business owners I've done commercials with started off a little nervous. But then once you start throwing some softball questions about their business, which they love, like there are
Yeah.
few people more passionate about what they do than business owners. Like the local business owners just get so
You
they get
have to be. You
oh,
have
they
to
can
be.
talk about it all day. So you throw a couple of softball questions in there, and as they start answering it, they get more comfortable. And 99.98% of the time, when the video's over, they're like, that was way easier. I had way more fun. Can we do this again sometime? Almost every time. Because
And I think there's people though, especially with video, and I have a friend that owns a production company, and
nice.
so he makes me sit, like, in videos all the time, and, at the beginning, I was very nervous about it, but he always reminded me, he's like, "We don't do one takes. It's not
Edit,
like it's a one take and done,
edit.
like, we edit the hell out of this. We change the angles. We can stitch it all together and, like, flip it between
Yeah.
1, 2 camera, and all of a sudden, it's like you did it in one take."
Yeah. I mean, even like, all right. So if you've never done this before and you hate doing it and you don't, you can do a like a like think about all the stuff you see on Facebook and you watch it because it's
Yeah.
interesting, but it's garbage
Yeah.
like editing and stuff. You still watch it. The content's still good.
Yeah.
Like if you go in there and talk to like the guy that owns the pet shop and this is good content, quality's not great, you're still gonna watch it. Don't let that be your factor because people will still, if the content's good and you're introducing them to people in their own community, they're still gonna be tuned in. They're still gonna watch it, and your quality will get better as you get reps. Don't let that be the factor.
Yeah, I look back at some of probably the first 10 podcasts
Oh,
that I
yeah.
released with, like,
Yeah, my
the most uncomfortable feeling. Like, thank you to my first 10, my OG 10 for putting up with me because those were
Yeah,
embarrassing.
I'm with you.
Um, they're so much better now, but I think that that has to be the mindset that you have. Like, if you're not embarrassed by your first 10 attempts, you're probably not doing it right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I cheated. So I used to be before this whole thing. I was a high school teacher and a college adjunct professor. So I spent time getting in front of like teenagers before I moved on to the second life. And so if you
Yes.
can sit up in front of teenagers and survive it, then like standing in front of a camera is no problem.
I teach coach a high school dance team, and yes, they will read you to filth. Like,
Yep.
some of the things that
Yep.
I do, I'm like,
Yep.
"Can you just, like, let me be for a minute? I'm twice your age, like, leave me alone."
Yep.
But, no, you're totally right, like, if you can get up in front of an audience as skeptical and judgmental as teenagers
You're good.
or, as college students, like, you can get in front of
Yeah.
anybody. Give me a C-suite executive of Fortune 500 all day long versus a room full of teenagers.
No, the other all right, so the other tip that I give people too is start with, family. Like, my first
Yeah.
2 videos I did with my kids when they were, like, 4, and I set the whole thing up and did it. Those kids loved being on camera, they had a blast, and I got some cool content that I still have to this day, where I asked them, like, how their day was, what's their favorite thing to do, their favorite cartoon, and then it gives you a chance to do the who, what, where, when, how reps and set up your camera to make sure everything looks good, and you're gonna see lighting, and you're gonna see sound. And there's no judgment. So do that, or a brother or sister, or an uncle, or an aunt. Like, just do a family member once or twice, and just kind of do the practice rep, and then you'll know the setup process. You'll know if you need to do better with your sound. You'll know all that stuff. You don't have to post it or do anything with it, but just practice run.
How long should you give it before you decide it is or isn't working? And again, a preface, I am very much a like try things, do things a lot,
Yeah.
throw a lot of things at it. I get kind of obsessed and then I get a little bit of like what I'll call shiny squirrel syndrome where there's like something over here that I want to do instead. How long do you sustain something even if you're not getting like clear, tangible, measurable results? What's a reasonable time frame to wait?
It depends on what you're selling will kind of influence you, right? So if you're doing something long term, if you're doing like real estate where stuff doesn't happen every 3 to 5 years, it might take a little bit longer if somebody buy or sell a house with you. But if you're doing something like shirts, like and you get like a faster return, or if you're in financials and you're trying to sit down with people, it might be a faster return. The 5-day
Yeah.
challenge that I offer everybody, like you can get people in your CRM that you know, like, and trust within 5 days, easy. And I even have a young man who's, in his mid-20s who's in finances and he's a little more ambitious. He got it wrapped up in 3 days and started adding people into his CRM. So it doesn't take long to get people in there. And then they know you, they like you, they've met you before. And the beauty of it is once you get into and start meeting these business owners, they have audiences too. And so you start tapping into their audiences and you're still genuinely giving. You're not doing it for that reason just to do that. But it's a nice side effect that they know you, they like you, they're gonna start sending you referrals, you're gonna work back and forth, you're gonna collaborate, but then you're opening your world to their 3, 4, 500 people too. So you'll get people in their CRM guaranteed is unless you just decide not to do it. That's the only way you won't start adding people to CRM and start meeting people. But depending on what industry you're in will depend if you start making sales and doing stuff. But um, yeah, it's almost 100% guarantee you'll add folks. So I would say turnaround time is a week at the most.
I love that. Considering all of the people that you know or aspire to know, who else are we paying attention to? Who else is going to give us the secrets to the universe?
So I started hopping into the podcast, The Diary of a CEO. That one's been really cool because he spends, well, first of all, he's got a British accent and always like sounds cooler and more professional for some reason in my head. But he
They're
sits
just
down
they're
with
just fancier than us.
they're
They're
just
just
fancy.
fancier
I
than
don't know
us.
because they're always doing like everything that's a history piece is a British accent, and I don't
Yeah.
understand how
That's
Britain
fair.
owned
That's
everything
fair.
ever, but whatever. Um,
That's fair.
but he sits down with like an hour or 2 hours with CEOs, and they'll just like get to the granular. And I love some of the stuff they do because they get real detailed, and he asks good questions like practical tips and strategies, just not like those usual like how do you feel or how do you get like actual stuff that you'll use. Most podcasts are just getting to the big picture. How do you feel being famous? And you're like, that's great. I just don't have that kind of
What's
money
it
backing
like
me
being
out.
so
Yeah,
incredible in a
yeah.
nepo baby? What's that like?
It's not good. So I
Yeah.
hate those kinds of podcasts. The ones that get to like the granular strategy is where I gravitate. So that one's one I've been following lately.
And if someone is really connecting with you, they want to learn more, they want to join in on the 5-day challenge or see
Yeah.
any of your courses or just follow along online, where can they find you online?
The website's the best place. It's www.livelocalwarmmarketing.com. In there, there's the courses on there, the books on there. There's the blog, the usual stuff. I'll throw workshops up there once in a while. There'll be a membership site. So if you want to just always learn more strategies, I always throw the practical stuff in there, like the hands-on strategy things. And then your folks, they get the 5-day challenge for free. So if we're going to do the code and anybody that's a friend of yours is a friend of mine now. So we'll give that out and they can have the 5-day challenge for free forever.
Amazing. Well, Billy, thank you so much
Yeah,
for coming on the
it
show.
was
I
awesome.
loved this conversation. I loved how practical and specific and
It's
useful it
awesome.
was. That's always one of my favorites. So thank you so much for your time. We loved this conversation, and I hope everyone out here is ready to grow authentically, and get that 5-day challenge.
Let's do it.